This week, we have a very special guest who's going to share with us the benefits of yoga, mindfulness, and meditation for all children, but particularly for children with special needs. Let's dive in. Hi, everybody. Today we have a very special interview and conversation with Sinead from Little Cups Yoga, and we're going to talk about yoga, the benefits for children, and also the benefits for children with additional needs. So we're going to welcome Sinead. How are you, Sinead?
Hello, I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. And Sinead and I have never met personally, but I'm following you on social media. I really like your work. So I decided to bring you over and talk to us about yoga, and especially yoga for children with special needs.
And I'm honored because I follow you as well, and you're so inspirational. I learn so much from you. So thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you. And there's a lot of people doing great things in Ireland, and I think that, we need to start doing things to connect more with each other. And
Absolutely.
Also, my son actually did yoga before COVID. There is a lovely lady who's doing yoga locally in the local sports centers.
Yeah.
She's doing yoga. We met her through Scouts, actually.
Right.
And she knew my son. She was always very supportive. And when she started yoga classes for typically developing children, open to everybody, she spoke to me and she invited us. And my son, Sebastian, joined yoga for about 2 years. So then everything is stopped because of COVID. And that was so beneficial to him in so many ways. And I still see him sometimes when he get anxious, that he would stop and he would talk to himself. And that, I think they probably did a lot of meditation in the classes. So that's why I'm really, really interested in talking to you and learning more about that. But first of all, I want to know, how did you become interested in yoga and then in yoga for children with special needs?
So I have come from a fitness background. So I've been a pilates instructor for many, many, many years. And then I had my children and I was kind of thinking, what can I do now that I could do with my kids? And I thought, maybe children's yoga. So I went and I did a course, and the course was fantastic. And I just thought, this is really cool. So I pretty much overnight set up a little business, Little Cups Yoga. I found a venue, let everyone know about it, and started teaching yoga. And then I could see the benefits for the kids. And then I was thinking, you know what? I could really incorporate my yoga to include children with additional needs, because it would be so beneficial for them. And so I thought, what could I do? And it's like going really simple, slow it down, make it fun, make it easy. It's not, it's not the same as going to an adult's class where everything flows. It's games, it's songs, it's stories, it's fun. And if you slow it down and I always use the terms, put it into jollyphonic form, children get that really quickly and they love it. And so that's really how Little Cups Yoga forms for kids with and without additional needs.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Did you bring them together, or you set up a specific classes?
I bring them together. Now, I only started at the end of 2019. So I didn't get a massive run at it because obviously then the pandemic hit in March. Now I attended with my daughter, Skylar. She's 3.5 and she has Down syndrome. So when she was about 2.5, I attended a class, Team 21 Tots with her. And I was chatting with Trina, who runs the class. And I was saying, I teach kids yoga. And she's like, would you do a little bit for the kids here? And they were only tots. And I was so nervous, like, oh my God, okay, I'll try it, But so we did a little bit. And it was so cool to see them trying to be trees and triangles and stars. But they loved it. They absolutely loved it. And the concentration on their little faces, trying to hold a pose, touch their toes. It was just amazing. And then I was like, okay, I need to do more of this. So the inclusion of a class with kids with and without, and then a class that have additional needs, and then put in a little bit of sign language with that, for the mindfulness, so that we all come together and we learn a new language. And it just took off. It worked so well. The kids absolutely love it. Love, love, love. Yeah. And it's so rewarding when you see them, you say, oh, is that your friend? Say, hello, friends. They're like,
brilliant. Yes, yeah. I love the fact I see in the videos that you post in social media that they're using sign language, that they're using love.
Yeah.
And also not only using love, but it's what you're saying, the slowing down, the what would be called the Hanan approach, and just make it more accessible to children.
Yeah.
And just that little change, it has a big impact on the kids, isn't it? That they can then be more engaged and follow.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be all go, 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 go. It's just calm, relaxing, easy, and fun.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Let's talk about generally as well for all children. What would be the general benefits of doing yoga for all kids, especially little ones?
Yeah. I mean, to be totally honest with you, the benefits are the same. You're going to reduce anxiety, stress, you're going to improve flexibility, strengthen the body, you're going to learn breathing techniques to help yourself calm down. So it's pretty much the same for a child with and without additional needs. Now, obviously, if you have a child with additional needs, they may suffer from muscle tone issues, or they may be more anxious or stressed. So they would benefit even more from the breathing techniques, from the exercises. But it's pretty much the same benefits. It's just that some children need it more than other kids will, or they'll come back to it more than other kids will. It's a lifelong learning technique, really.
Yes. I found it so beneficial for my son around the anxiety, being able to reduce anxiety, teaching him how to manage that anxiety.
Yeah, it's great for regulation. It really, really is. And mindfulness, and just to, tune out everything else. You're here, you focus on what's here, what we're doing now. Nothing else matters at this moment in time.
Yeah.
So
and this is so important, for
it's really
all
important.
of them, especially now with COVID, how challenging it has been for everybody, and they are also feeling it. So
and the thing with children is they can't express their feelings, so they don't know that they're feeling anxious. It may come out in other ways that as an adult, this sign is letting me know they're worried, or they're anxious, or they're struggling, but they can't understand that they're struggling. It could be in, they're lashing out, any type of behavioral issues. And really, it's just stop, breathe, tap your fingers, blow a bubble. We'll go through different techniques, but it's really just stop, just be present, and, we'll sort this.
Yeah. There's many teachers that are introducing a little bit of yoga, probably not formally, but in some of the schools visits, I've seen teachers when they do circle time, or also in primary school that they may have. I remember a teacher, she had different cards of different yoga poses. So they would take the card, they would look at the pose, they would all do the pose, they would do breathing. What advice or recommendations could you give to teachers using those techniques? Again, like it's not a proper yoga class, but they are incorporating mindfulness,
exactly,
and relaxation in the classroom. And how can they do it so that the child with the special needs is also included, because a lot of teachers, special educators, or teachers that are working with children with the special needs follow this channel. So I would like some specific recommendations for them.
Okay. Again, it all just comes down keeping it slow, jollyphonic form, and keeping it fun and keeping it calm. Really are those three main points. Just don't do too much. Don't try and do too many poses. Kids are, if you give them too much, it becomes overwhelming, and we don't want them to be overwhelmed. That's counteracting what we're trying to do. So pick a few small poses, and keep it slow, speak clearly, make a story. So what I like to do is, and when I put out my yoga cards, so say 5 tables, each table has a yoga pose. Let's make a story with the yoga pose that you have. So it could be somebody has spider pose. On my way to school today, I saw a big black spider. And then the next table adds to the story, and so on and so on and so on. And then you have this big story, and you put it all together, and you do all your yoga poses, and each pod, if they're in a pod, will say their paragraph of the story, and so on and so on and so on. And that's helping to build concentration as well. So if you're a teacher, slow it down, keep it simple, make it fun, and remember to tell the kids to breathe. Just breathe, very important.
Yes.
Because they can get overexcited. So do the pose now, freeze and breathe.
Brilliant. And I love adding the story, because I think when we look at supporting language development, even a lot of things that you're saying now, I can see how you can integrate a lot of interventions or therapies that children would be doing, children with the special needs, like physiotherapy, speech therapy, that I can see how actually you're integrating.
I suppose you could call it an alternative therapy, really, and I mean, as well as that, you can use your cards, and you might have butterfly, and you do your sign for butterfly, and just go, okay, so this is sign for this and that and the other, and it's they pick it up that way so much easier, and it's so beneficial, for the child who maybe has delayed speech and they may be using sign. They benefit from it too, because they feel part of the crew, that they're teaching the kids, because they'll know the sign. So it'd be like, and so what's the sign for? And that child is amazing. You're so clever. Well done.
Yeah. And I see you actually have quite a few examples of different techniques or activities in your social media. Where can people find you?
So you'll find Little Cubs Yoga on Facebook, on Instagram, and we've just launched our website, www.littlecubsyoga.com. So we're there as well. So you'll find lots of our videos will be on social media. So you'll find them all there, and hopefully everyone enjoys them.
Yes, I find them really useful. And you had one. This is something that I love doing with my children before going to bed, and it's I suppose spending a couple of minutes in gratitude and talking about the day and what you were grateful for, was something that
aren't you grateful?
Yes. So when I saw that, I loved it. The aren't you grateful activity, and it adds. I have 2 boys, so they like being active. Yeah. So the whole sitting down and being grateful for something, that was not a lot of fun. But then when I saw your video, the aren't you grateful, I thought it was a great idea. Will you share that with us?
Yeah. So the aren't you grateful game, it's actually a fun, relaxing game, and and it's a mindful game, but it's also improving flexibility and coordination at the same time. So it's quite a clever game. It's doing a lot without the kids realizing what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, in my class, what I tend to do is get the kids to sit in a big circle, and we pop an orange. And you don't have to use an orange. You can use a ball or whatever, something orange. And you put it between your feet and you say, "Aren't you grateful for?" And then think of something that you're grateful for that day. And you'll be surprised what kids say. "I'm grateful for my best friend because," or "I'm grateful for my mommy because she made me amazing lunch today." It could be anything, And then what you do is you pass, using only your feet, the orange to the other person who takes it with their feet. So again, that's building on muscle tone, coordination, flexibility, but then again, being mindful of what you're actually grateful for and what you have, you know.
And I find that I'm getting to know my children even better because sometimes they come up with answers that I didn't expect, and maybe they found a new game that they loved and they're grateful for that, or something small that happened in school that they hadn't told me about. And it actually helps me to get them know better. I find out all those little
you'd be surprised what comes out during these games, even during stories. You're like, okay, brilliant, and then we have the magic talking candlestick, which is a little light up candlestick that we hold and we say, "Today I had a great day because," and we pass it on, and whoever holds the candlestick gets to talk, and everyone listens. And again, it goes around, and you get to hear about the kids' day and what was important to them as well. So there's lots of different techniques to find out what's going on in your kids' lives, what's going on in their little minds, and you're doing it without them realizing you're drawing out information,
Also, there's something that I'm always very conscious about children's confidence and children's self-esteem. And having worked with children with special needs for many years, I know how long things might take for them, how hard it can be. For example, a typically developing child, I have 2 children. So my little one, Sam, who's typically developing, for example, when he started walking, he spent about 4 weeks trying to walk. He would just walk and fall and get up and walk again. That went on for 4 weeks, and then he walked. But then with my little students, particularly children with Down syndrome, they can be at that stage not for a month, for a year, sometimes 2 years. So the experience of I get up and fall, I get up and fall, that can go on for much longer. And I'm very mindful of building that confidence and finding activities, breaking it down so they always experience success, because they need our help to become more confident, and we need to make sure that we help them develop good self-esteem. Do you think that yoga or mindfulness can help them with that?
Absolutely, because if you think about in yoga, you are, we're focusing on the here and the now. So we are just here. We are just doing a pose. And we are holding it. Now, you may need a little help holding that. Bend down and touch your toes. Children, especially with Down syndrome, have great flexibility. And so, I know my little girl, she loves yoga, and she loves down dog, up dog, bent triangle. She can bend and twist this way and that way. And that really does build their confidence, because a typical child may not have that flexibility or that range of movement. So if you think, again, it's going back to the classroom where the child that maybe uses love is able to teach the other children in the class the sign. The same for the poses. The child that has super flexibility is well able for these poses, and can teach the other children who
I never thought of that, but it's an opportunity. Yes, like in that particular activity, they may be actually, better, or like they can do something that the other ones are struggling with, and how lovely it is to balance things.
It is, and that's it. It does balance itself out. We all learn from each other, you know?
I wanted to ask one more question. I suppose, like, Sinead, is a little bit of a more personal question, and we're both parents of children with special needs. You have a daughter, you have 4 beautiful children, and your youngest daughter has Down syndrome. I have 2 wonderful boys, and my eldest son has autism. And I've been in early intervention for 20 years. And I have my son, he's 11. And I've spent my life teaching children, thinking I was the teacher. And I'm realizing that I'm the one being taught. I've been the one being taught all this time. I've learned so much from them. And I would like to, for you, if you don't mind sharing your experience with Skylar, what have you learned from Skylar?
So when Skylar was born, we didn't know that she had Down syndrome until she was born.
Okay.
And then, to be honest with you, for us, we were like, we have a beautiful baby girl. We're taking her home. She's healthy. We were happy out. Obviously, we were, there was a little bit of sadness to it, but we had a beautiful, healthy baby girl, and we were thrilled with that. But I noticed that when she was born and people were coming in, and they were all great, they were all brilliant, but there'd be this little brochure that you'd be given, children with Down syndrome, or, statistically, and from the day she was born, both Stephen, her dad, and I had said, she's not a statistic. We're not going to limit, and we're not going to label her. We're going to let Skylar teach us the way. So it's Skylar that has Down syndrome. So Skylar will teach us about Down syndrome. And we took her home, and we got loads of phone calls letting us know there was this group, that group, and we were like, just great, thank you. We really appreciate it, and we know the support is out there, but we want to just get on with our lives, blend Skylar into our family, and do the things that we would do if she didn't have Down syndrome. And so we took it from there. And to be honest, it was like 2.5 years before I even dipped my toes into the outside world of children with additional needs. And I'm glad it worked for me. I'm glad I did it that way, because in those 2.5 years, Skylar just blew our minds. We've got the statistic book, and we might as well have ripped it up. It was like going, she has Down syndrome, but she's Skylar. She's not limited, and she's not a statistic.
Wow.
And it's just amazing. Now, obviously, some people like the support groups, and that, if that's your thing, brilliant. And it's great to have them there. But for us, we just wanted Skylar to lead the way and allow us to follow.
And what do you think that made you that confident to do something like that? The reason why I'm saying this is because even myself with my son, just when we knew he had autism, it's like you go into panic mode and you start doing all those things. What gave you that inner confidence and knowing that was the right thing for you? I think that it's just beautiful what you are saying. And I think that sometimes we go onto a panic mode, and we are in a society, or you can then read a lot of information like, oh my God, early intervention, and you have to do all those things. Where when a child has a special needs, of course, we need to help them a little bit more, but they have Down syndrome or they are autistic. And that's fine. And you got to that point from day one. I'd love to know, how did you get there? What brought you there? Or what was your experience, about Down syndrome? Did you know people?
I didn't have any experience. So I would have had the stereotypical thoughts that other people who have no knowledge of Down syndrome would have. And I suppose I would have had the old-fashioned view before early intervention came out of, what Down syndrome was, what to expect. And I just looked at her. We both just looked at her and went, no, just like, no, we know she has Down syndrome, but I'm not feeling this. Like, I just got an overwhelming sense that she was going to be fine.
Wow.
And that's really all it was.
And she's doing fantastic.
And she is doing amazing.
So well.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's in full-time preschool. She's absolutely flying it. She's like a boss lady.
I see her sometimes in your videos doing yoga poses as well, doing yoga with you. I love it. I love it.
Star of the show.
Yes,
she doesn't want to miss out.
Brilliant. And because she's the youngest one in the family as well, how wonderful it is that she's got her brothers and sisters. Do you have boys and girls, all girls?
No, I have 3 girls and a boy.
Oh, 3 girls and a boy. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a big family, and I find this is always wonderful for all kids.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and it definitely helps having older siblings. She certainly isn't one that wants to be left behind or left out, whatever they're doing. If it's climbing a 6-foot fence, Skylar will climb that fence. Yeah.
Great. That's wonderful. Thank you, Sinead. I've got a lot of information about yoga, how it can help all children. And also, I really loved learning from you and your experience as well.
I'm so glad, because I think you're fantastic. I love your videos. I've learned a lot of sign from you. I've learned a lot from your online courses. You're absolutely amazing. So keep up the good work. And I'm honored to be doing this interview with you.
Lovely. And hopefully one day, not too far away, we'll be able to meet in person. And maybe we'll do something else, but in person that time.
Fantastic. I'd love that.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sinead.
Thank you.
Thank you for today. Thank you. See you soon. Bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed the interview with Sinead as much as I did. I loved learning about all the benefits that yoga, mindfulness, and meditation have for all children, but particularly for children with special needs. And I particularly loved when Sinead shared how she reacted when she discovered that her daughter had Down syndrome. I thought that was so beautiful and so profound. The fact that she didn't want to learn about Down syndrome from other people, that she wanted to learn about Down syndrome just from her experience with her daughter. That was beautiful. A while back, I actually recorded an interview with Mane from Real Connections, where I share my own personal journey with my son who's diagnosed with autism. So if you want to watch that interview, I leave the link here. And that's it for today. I hope to see you soon here in Silvia Angel Education. Bye-bye.